And new this morning, the Marion County Prosecutor says that protesters who loot or physically attack police will face criminal charges.
Prosecutor Ryan Mears also says, Lauren, that the curfew is legal. But I also wanted to know the latest on the appointment of a special prosecutor on the Drejon Reed case.
One of the things that people are protesting, sir, is the Drejon Reed case. But can you tell me anything about the appointment of the special prosecutor?
We filed about 36 hours after this case filed. We filed a motion for an independent prosecutor, which removes us from the case. At this particular point now, it's up for the judge to find a prosecutor to fill in that role as the independent prosecutor. I think it's important to note that a prosecutor has to be willing to accept that appointment. So, I'm sure the judge is reaching out to numerous people across the state, but it's something that someone has to be willing to accept and take on this responsibility. And I would imagine that's probably some of the reason as to why there's a delay. There's no specific time frame in place in terms of the decision must be made by this date or under this time period.
We saw some violations of the curfew last night. Can you enforce that? Is that constitutional?
There's a valid order in place, a valid emergency order in place, which prohibits people from being downtown. That's a Class B misdemeanor. Again, we'll take a look at those at a case-by-case basis. If it fits, then we will absolutely file it if it's appropriate. And so we're not making any blanket policy decision to say, hey, we're not going to enforce the curfew. I think that's counterproductive.
As these protests continue, what should they be aware of? What are you looking for?
To me, it's pretty simple. If you want to protest, I'm going to protect your right to protest. As long as you come down and you protest, you are free to express yourself as long as that expression doesn't physically harm anyone else or does not damage someone else's property. As long as you do that, you're not going to have any problems with the Marion County Prosecutor's Office.
The prosecutor goes on to say that in light of the pandemic, his office is taking a closer look to see who really needs to be behind bars.